Hello and happy Wednesday. It is March 22nd. I am MJ and this is a general reading for the collective. And today I am using my Urban Crow Oracle. This is my deck that's published by Hay House. It's also available on my website. And of course, you know, if you order your deck directly from me, the artist, I will sign it as well as send along little extras. And speaking of signing, for those of you who are waiting, I am waiting on the books. So they should arrive by March 29th. And as soon as I get here, this is Life Through the Eyes of a Murder, using the Urban Crow Oracle in pairs. As soon as I get here, I will sign your book as well as send along little extras. And there's a lot of information in here because when you take 54 cards and you pair them up, that makes over 2,900 different messages. And so that's what's in this book. There are over 2,900 unique messages in this book. This was a very hefty book, but as soon as I get here, I sign it, I add some little extras, and out they go. Okay, so let's get to today's reading and see what we have going on energetically speaking. And so for this reading, that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to use the Urban Crow Oracle in pairs, and I'll show you what I mean as we go along here. So we're going to use the same spread that we always use here. By we, I mean us, you and me. It's like the royal we. So we're going to start off with the influencing energy, then we move on to the situation, then we move to the uninvited house guest. That's the external influence. We're going to see what role they play in the situation, and then we'll wrap it all up with some words of advice from these beautiful crows. Okay, so normally what I would do is I would just pull one card for each station of the spread, but here, when we're pairing the Urban Crow, we're going to use two cards. So it's kind of like you have chocolate over here, you have peanut butter over here, each on their own, super yummy, right? Very delicious treat. You bring them together though, they create a whole new treat, something totally different, but also equally yummy. All right, let's get going. So we're starting off here with territory. And now what's modifying territory? Ooh, risk. Okay, so when we have risk modifying territory, what this means here is that we have an opportunity to perhaps push the boundaries a little bit. However, it could be risky, but the reward could be very great. You might feel as though somebody's sort of keeping you confined, right? That there is something that is that's limited in some way, but there is this risk to pushing that boundary. There is that risk to pushing perhaps somebody's patience. But at the same time, you know, where there's risk, there's reward. And so you have to, you know, kind of weigh it up, right? Is it worth perhaps stepping on somebody's toes right now? Is it worth, you know, pushing somebody past their limits, or not honoring somebody's boundaries here? There is that risk, you know, and so that's what we're dealing with today, is this sort of this feeling of uncertainty that comes with a limitation, because you don't really know, like, oh, if I do this, it could pay off. It could be a good thing. However, it could also bite me in the butt, you know? And so this could be an energy that is creating some friction within a situation. It could be an energy that kind of has us feeling uncertain, like that we're walking on eggshells perhaps, because, you know, we're not really sure if we should push this boundary. So let's see what we have for the situation, because, you know, if you are sort of walking on eggshells because you're not sure if you know, if you're going to go too far, you know, or if that reward is worth it. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, it's like you might feel confined. That's the other thing with this, with having risk coming in and modifying territory, is that you might be feeling like you're kind of like kept in a box here with what you can do, what your limitations are, and having risk come in, it might be tempting to to try something different, or to, do something without asking permission. And, your situation, but it could end up being there's risk there for a reason. It's not a safe passage forward if you do decide to push a limitation. Okay. So, and having that in this context of being influenced, it's like, that's what's going to be weighing on the back of your mind. The decisions that you make is going to be like, well, if I do this, what's going to be the outcome? What's if there's any harm involved here. And so we start off here with soar. And what's modifying soar? Complete opposites here. So we have resistance and soar. So there is something that is challenging this path forward, this sense of ease, right? What should be super easy, right? When we have soar here as the main energy, this should be straightforward. This should be like, boom, done, no problem, no obstacles in the way. However, with resistance coming in and modifying soar, the situation that we have here is one that should be easy, but it's not. It should be like a straightforward path, free of friction, free of obstacles. Yes, 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 the entire way. But what you're going to find is there will be a fly in the ointment here. And it could be that you need to win someone over. It could be somebody's not giving their approval like they should, right? Again, something should be super easy. That's what the situation is. But there's something that's causing resistance. Something is holding you back. And, it could be, you're tempted here with this risk and territory. You might be tempted to kind of break out on your own, but that's not going to help you here. That risk might end up being what causes the resistance. And you might create more resistance as well if you take a misstep here, or if you do try to step out like out of the line, or push somebody, push their boundaries, or one of those situations where you ask for forgiveness instead of permission. That could end up biting you on the butt. Especially if you're feeling influenced to do that, right? If you're like, well, I'm just going to take the risk. I'm just going to go. I'm just going to not worry about what I'm being told is where I'm supposed to stay. I'm not going to stay in my lane. I'm going to risk getting out of my lane. And that could lead to this situation here that could create more resistance for something that should be easy. Okay, so let's see what we have for the uninvited house guest. Who's knocking on this door? So we start off here with protection. What's modifying protection? Routine. Okay, so this is just everyday protection, like nothing new out of the ordinary here. Somebody's going to come in, and they might end up being just like somebody who makes sure everything gets taken care of as it should, right? This might be somebody who comes in and it's just part of their job, right? It might just be, they're there to make sure that things move forward easily, that, that things are maintained, that, order is maintained in some way. And so this routine protection isn't going to be anything, whoever this is not going to step in and overstep their bounds by any means, right? They're not going to protect you in any way that is greater than what their job would allow them to do. So just know here that it's not like you're getting a great deal of protection or anything above the ordinary. It's going to be somebody who just comes in and says, hey, if we have, a logger jam here, if there's some resistance here, they might be able to come in and ease that in some way, protect that, the steady flow here of stuff happening. But again, they're not going to break out or be, unique in any way, or they're not going to, be overly protective if that's not what's called for, I guess is what I'm trying to say with that. But just know here that, we have the situation. Again, something should be easy peasy, light and breezy, but it's not. And that could be because there is this friction perhaps around being put into a box or being limited in some way by what you can and can't do. And this desire, this feeling, this influence to kind of step out of that is very risky. And so I kind of feel like what we have here, taking that risk and pushing the boundaries perhaps, could be the source of this resistance here for something that should be easy. Okay, let's see what advice we have. So this is a time of growth. What's modifying this growth? Ooh. So we have battle. So this is, fighting. This could be perhaps fighting somebody, fighting for an opportunity to learn, or fighting for an opportunity to grow in some way. And we're feeling this influence around stepping out of a boundary, pushing our limitations, pushing past our limitations. But there's that fear, that risk, right? That something might not go as it should. Although we know, like, if we do this, the reward could be great. But if we fail, it could be hurtful or harmful in some way. And that could be, that in itself could be holding you back. The situation should be easy. Whatever this is, however this looks here, the situation should be a quick, easy path forward, free of obstacles. And we might be the ones that are creating our obstacle ourselves. We might be fighting our own growth here. The battle might be within, right? This fighting ourselves in some way, and that in itself is holding back our growth. We're wanting to learn and to push ourselves, to move beyond one territory perhaps and move into a greater territory, to expand our horizons. But that's scary because there are risks involved. This could be that the advice here that's coming in is that the battle isn't necessarily with somebody else, but it's with ourselves. And we're fighting our own growth. We're getting in our own way. And we're creating our own resistance here to a path that should be super easy. And that's what the situation here is. That's what's really this is all about. Is something should be free of obstacles, free of challenges. And yet we might be the ones that are making the challenges ourselves here. Whoever this is that's coming in, they might just be a regular part of your life, and they might help you see a path through this resistance. They might protect your vision here, this time of growth. They might help you perhaps quiet this battle within. I think really what it comes down to here, what I get with this, is that it's scary to push past boundaries. It's scary to step outside the line or to do something that, we're kind of told these are your limitations. And that's where this influence is coming today. It's like, you want to do that, but you're not sure because there is a risk. And that's what's causing the resistance. Thankfully, there is somebody there that's part of our life, our regular day, who can step in, but they only have so much power. They can't protect you from everything. And overall, there is this opportunity for growth here, but we have to let it happen. And there is this battle going on, and it could be inside us. So we need to let that go so that we can proceed and we can move forward. Peace. Bye.